Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back for another tutorial on BzzzMagicHands YouTube channel. A few weeks ago, a subscriber asked if I could recreate a crochet skirt via my Instagram. So today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet this midi skirt step by step. And before I even go any further, if you are new here or a returning viewer but haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly please click on the subscribe button and subscribe. Now this kite is breathable and easy leg movement. You can see how I'm doing it here just to show that it is easy to wear. You can be sure that it is not going to hold your legs together. Okay, it's beginner friendly, can be adjusted to any size. So I used a lightweight yarn because I didn't want this to be heavy on me. You can use any yarn of your choice as long as it's not going to be heavy, because you want your skirt to also be breathable. You don't want it dragging on your body. Okay, without wasting any time, grab all your necessary requirements. This is for you, so let's get started with this tutorial right away. Now for us to start this tutorial, you can use any yarn of your choice. My yarn is a lightweight yarn, but I will be combining two strands. I'll be using these shades of yarn, beige and black. It will be exactly like how the subscriber wanted me to recreate it. I'm going to be using a 4mm hook. You'll need a needle, tape measure and a scissor. For this kite, we shall be wearing it from our head shoulder down. So the measurement which you'll be taking will be of your bust. My bust is 33 inches, or you will take the measurement of the widest part of your upper body. Now I've already made a chain here. I chained 100. We are going to stretch this out on the tape measure to give us the measurement of my bust. If your bust is more than mine or smaller than mine, you will adjust it accordingly. Now let's begin. Let's stretch this out to give me half of my bust. Don't overstretch it. I so far have like 13. I'm going to make 20 more and we'll stretch again. This is 120 now. Yeah, it stretched to 16.5. So when you multiply this by 2, it will give me 33 inches wide. For row 1, you are going to wrap your yarn on your hook and go in the first chain, skip 1, 2, 3, and then go in the first chain here. Make a half double crochet. Make half double crochet up to the end of this chain. I'm going to meet you when I'm at the end of this chain so that we will join it. We shall be crocheting in the round, and I'm going to be showing you how to coordinate the colors accordingly. I first made this and it failed completely, so I had to reduce on the number of rows, which we shall be doing here. The skirt is going to be a midi skirt, unless you want it longer than what we'll be crocheting. That is fine by me. Catch you at the end of row 1. I'm at the end of row 1. Now you are going to join this row together. I did that for row 1 because I didn't want my chain twisting. So for us to join our row, you're going to go on top of this chain 3 at the beginning and join your row. Now that is row 1, chain 1. Get your stitch marker because we are now going to be working in the round, and you might miss where your row starts and end from, or where you should begin your next row. So this is our last stitch of row 1, and this was our first stitch of row 1. So you are going to put a stitch marker in the first stitch of row 1 like that. You've already chained 1, turn your work. The chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch, so you are going to go in this space here and make a half double crochet. So you will repeat row 1 for row 2. This stitch marker will help you know where to end your row. So I'm going to make half double crochet all around and meet you when I'm at this stitch marker here. We are approaching to the end of row 2, so you can see that this is where I placed the stitch marker to help guide you people where to end your row. I'm going to put my last half double crochet in there, go on top of this chain at the beginning, this stitch at the beginning, and slip stitch, chain 1. Now in row 3 is where we are going to start increasing this kite up to our desired hip size. I want this to be on the side, so I'm going to get a stitch marker, place this like this and fold it. You're just going to eyeball where the center is, like that. Okay, so these are like where you put an increase from, but that is it. After chaining 1, the chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch. You'll turn your work and then place a half double crochet in this first stitch here like that. Get your stitch marker. This is going to help you know where to end your row. Place your stitch marker here. I definitely know where my row will end, but I want to do this to guide people who might miss knowing where their rows will end. So put a stitch marker there and then let's crochet. If you have big hips, you can add 4 increases in this row, but I'm going to be adding 2 increases, meaning in every row we shall be increasing by 2 more stitches. I had 117 stitches, which means at the end of row 3 I'm going to be having 119 stitches. Okay, you will crochet up to the point where you put a stitch marker. I'll meet you when I'm at this point. I'm at the point where I put a stitch marker, so I'm going to remove this and put 2 half double crochets in this same stitch. I just used a stitch marker to let you know where to add your increases, but there is no specific in where to add your increases. In each uneven row going forward until you obtain your hip size, you'll be adding increases. So if you want to cover the hip size very quickly, you might have to add 4 increases, but my hips are 40 inch. I'm going to be adding only 2 increases in every row. So crochet this up to the next point here to add another row of increase. I will meet you when I'm at the point where my stitch marker is, so that we can complete this row. I'm at the point where we put a stitch marker, so I'm going to remove this out and then put 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. We have already done our 2 increases. Now you are going to crochet up to the point where there's a stitch marker. I'll meet you when we'll be ending this row to start row 4. I'm at the point where there's a stitch marker, so I'll remove this out, place my last stitch there, go on top of the first stitch we started with and slip, chain 1, turn your work. So you're going to get your stitch marker and place it in this stitch here. It will help you know where to end your row. Now it's in the other stitch. It's a bit confusing in this stitch here. So put 1 half double crochet in this space and then repeat this all through. In row 4, you are not going to be increasing anymore. I will leave you to make 6 rows in white. This is already row 4 of 6. So in row 4, you won't be increasing. In row 5, you are going to increase. And then in row 6, you won't increase. I will meet you when I'm going to be attaching my black yarn. But when you reach in row 5, don't put the increases in the same line, spread it around. You can place it here in row 5, you can place it here or somewhere here, as long as they are just not in the same line. I will meet you when I'm done making 6 rows in total for this color white and show you how to attach your yarn. Catch you until then. I'm approaching to the end of my 6th row, so I will remove this stitch marker out, place my last half double crochet there. Now we are going to switch our yarn to black. This is what you're going to do. You'll insert your hook on this first stitch here. Instead of pulling out the white yarn, you're going to attach your black yarn like that and pull through like that. Chain 1. That's how you attach your yarn, and you're going to put your stitch marker where you ended the row, which is this one. This is the last stitch. Turn your work. Like that. So you're going to put 1 half double crochet in this same stitch. This is row 7 and we shall be increasing, and then you proceed to make half double crochet all round. As you can see, I spread my increases around. We are going to be making 3 rows in black. So when you are done making your 3 rows in black, you will switch yarn to white and increase up to your hip size. I'm going to make 3 rows in this black, switch my yarn to white and make 10 rows in white. If I increase and along the way I obtain my hip size, I'll come back here and show you how to proceed next. But if the 10 rows find when I'm still increasing, I will keep increasing until when we can switch yarn again to black. So this is already row 7. Row 8 and 9 will still be in black, and then row 10 is going to be in white. Crochet until you can obtain your hip size. I'll meet you right back here when I'm done. I kept increasing and obtained my 10 rows after the 3 rows in black. Now we are going to switch our yarn to black again. This is where my stitch marker is. The stitch marker lets me know where to end my row, like that. And then I will insert my hook in here, grab my black yarn and pull out the yarn like that, chain 1, turn my work, place my stitch marker to let me know where to end my row next, and then put 1/2 double crochets in this same space, like that. Okay, so I just wanted to show you how to attach your yarn. So I was able to increase and I obtained my hip size. So this is 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. So I increased until I had 19 rows. At the 19th row was when I obtained my hip size. This is my last row of increase. You can see I put an increase here and the other one is somewhere here, and my yarn stretches. Okay, when I stretch this, it's able to get me the hip size, and my hip size when divided into 2 will be 20 on each side. And when I place a tape measure here to take a measurement, this is 18, but this stretches up to 20, as you can see that. Okay, I hope you're able to see that. If your yarn doesn't stretch, just crochet your desired hip size, but ensure that it measures exactly your measurement. Okay, so you can see this stretches to 20. Now for the next row in black, you are no longer going to increase. We shall not be increasing this anymore. We will now crochet this up to our desired length. So row 20, make 1 row in black. When you are done making 1 row in black, you are going to cut out the yarn, switch to white and make 3 rows in white. When you are done making 3 rows in white, cut out your yarn, attach the black yarn and make 1 row in black. I'm going to meet you when we'll be switching our yarn again to white. Okay, as a recap, you are making 1 row in black, 3 rows in white, 1 row in black again. I'll meet you when we will be switching again to white. I completed to crochet as I had instructed you. I made 1 row in black, 3 in white, 1 in black, and now I have attached my white yarn to start crocheting again. And I'm going to ask you people one more time to repeat what we did here to that point again. So you are going to make 10 rows in white, 1 in black, 3 rows in white, and 1 in black again. Okay, I will meet you when I'm done crocheting from this point up to that point, so that we can proceed to the next part in this tutorial. But this is how your skirt should be taking shape. You are not increasing anymore because you have already obtained your desired hip size. Just crochet as you go, and this is how my work looks like, and this is how my line appears. It's in a straight line. You can turn your work like this and be able to see that it's in a straight line. Like that. Okay, I'll meet you again when I'm done crocheting what I've asked of you from here to that point. I have completed to crochet what I instructed you to do earlier. This kite is basically a repeat work. We are repeating between black and white. So for the next round, I'm going to request you to make 10 more rounds, which is this one, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. When you are done making 10 rows in white, I'll meet you right back here and guide on you what to do for the rest of this tutorial. Okay, hope you are getting this so well, and mark that it is a repetitive work. Catch you when we are done crocheting the 10 rows in white. Now I'm going to end the 10 rows which I had instructed you people to crochet, then attach my black yarn. This is how you switch yarn. You're going to go in that last stitch, grab your black yarn, pull through like that. Get your scissor, cut this out. Chain 1, turn your work, then put a half double crochet in this first stitch, then a half double crochet in the next stitch. This is how your work looks like so far. I'm trying to fit this on the screen. So this is your kite so far. Okay, we started from here and now we are at this point. The next instruction I'm going to give you people is to repeat what we did here up to that point. Okay, meaning earlier I say that our kite is basically a repeat work. We will keep repeating certain parts until we end this tutorial. So we'll crochet 3 rows in black, 10 rows in white, 1 row in black, 3 rows in white, 1 row in black, 10 rows in white, 1 row in black, 3 rows in white, 1 row in black, and then 10 rows in black. Okay, when you are done with this, I'll again come back here and show you what to do next, but just go about repeating this over and over, and I'll meet you when we are done. After my last instruction, I remember telling you all to repeat from this part up to this last point, which I did for myself too. I crocheted 3 rows in black, 10 in white, 1 row in black again, 3 rows in white, 1 row in black, and then 10 rows in black in white, and then again a row in black, 3 in white, a row in black, and then 10 rows in white. That's where I had told you people to end, but then again I am going to ask you again to repeat 3 more rows in black, 10 rows in white, 1 row in black, 3 rows in white, 1 row in black, and then end this kite with 10 rows in white, which is exactly what I've done here. This is how your kite should be looking like, and I'm going to be pulling this so that you will just see how it fits on screen, because I'm sure if I spread this out like this, it cannot fit on my phone camera. So this is how your kite should be looking like. This is your top. Okay, like this, and then like that, and this is the part where we start and end our rows. So I am going to end my last row for this kite by joining my black yarn, because we are going to be working a border. I'm going to now end my row by joining my black yarn. You'll insert your hook in here. This is after you have repeated these remaining parts. Okay, you will insert your hook in there and then attach your black yarn, like that. Since I'm running out of yarn and have not been able to shop any, I'm going to be a little bit considerate with the tail of my yarn. So yes, when you have joined like that, you're going to chain one, get your scissor and cut out the white yarn like that. Okay, now we have attached our yarn, so we shall be working a border for this kite. I'm going to be working using the shell stitch, but from the pic it looks like a knitted version of slip stitches, which I don't want to go through that right now, but I will improvise by putting a shell stitch, which just looks fine. And if we get the measurement of this kite, I'm going to measure it and then tell you people how long my kite is from this point here. My kite is so far 34.5 inches, which is not bad, and I think with the borderless it will end up being 35 inches. So for us to start working on our border, I'm going to be using a shell stitch to work on the border. So after touching your yarn, you chain one, which I think I've already done, and I'm not going to turn my work. So you put a single crochet in this exact same stitch here, and then put single crochets all round. I'll be hiding the tail of my yarn as I go. You do the same for yourself. We shall meet again here when we will be joining this row from here, crochet and tail. Then now let's end this row of single crochets with a slip stitch here in the first stitch which you started with, like that. So this is your row of single crochets. We shall not turn this work. You are going to chain one. After chaining one, put a single crochet in that exact same stitch, skip 2, 1, 2, and then in the third stitch make 6 double crochets. That is 1 of 6, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Chain 1, skip 1, 2. In the third one, put a single crochet, and then skip 1, 2. In the third chain, in the third stitch, put 6 double crochets in the same stitch. 4, 5, and 6. Skip 2, 1, 2, and then in the third one make a single crochet, skip 2 again, 1, 2, and then in the third stitch make 6 double crochets. This 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Skip 2, 1, 2, and then in the third stitch put 6, put a single crochet. So this is how we shall be working on our border. You'll repeat this all round. I'm going to meet you when we shall end this row from here. I am almost at the end of my row, and I'm left with 3 stitches here. Instead of just skipping 2, I will skip 1. I'll skip this and then make 3 double crochets in this space here, because if we make 6, I don't know how it will look like. Okay, let's make 6. That is 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, and then there's this stitch here and the beginning of this one where we started from. I am going to go, I'll just go under it. I won't go in the stitch, I'll go under and slip stitch like that and pull out my yarn. I think I like how it turned out, even if we were only left with like 3 stitches to end this row. So in order for me to end this row, I'll slip stitch on this, pull out my yarn. I don't know where I threw my scissor. I keep throwing things around. Yeah, like that. So this is how we end our row, like that. Oh goodness, this is nice, this is nice. So we will repeat this exact same thing for our waist, which is here. Okay, now for the waist we shall do the same thing we did for our border down. I'm running out of yarn, and at some point I will just have to work with what kind of black yarn that I have, as long as it's medium weight. So attach your yarn at the end here, attach your yarn here where we start and end our row from, like that. Tighten it and then make a single crochet. So we are now going to make single crochet all round. Okay, just make single crochet in every stitch that you see here. I'm going to do this all round and meet you again for us to start working on the self stitch. And now we end our row of single crochet with a slip stitch on top of this first stitch here. We shall not turn, you chain 1 and then make a single crochet in this exact same stitch. You skip 2, 1, 2 and then make 6 double crochets in this space here. Three, 4, 5 and 6. Skip 2, 1, 2 and then here in the third stitch make a single crochet. So we shall repeat what we did for our border down there with this one for the waist. I'm going to do this all round and meet you right back here so that we can complete this tutorial. Sometimes I just want to cry my lungs out because of the noise, which I can't really control. It's inevitable and it just kind of happens even when I'm shooting. So pardon me each time you hear some sort of noise in my videos, okay? It means so much to me when you understand that. Really appreciate all of you so much. 4, 5 and 6. Skip 2 and then put a single crochet in here. So I'm at the end of my row. I'm going to go under this stitch here and slip stitch. Like that. Slip stitch here, pull out my yarn, like that. So this is the waist of your skirt, and if in case this is too big for you, you might have to make a drawstring which you will pass from inside and tie it from inside. Okay, I'm sure this fits me, but if it doesn't, I will be making a drawstring for myself to tie from inside, but I'm definitely sure this fits for me. Now this is the final look of your skirt. Let me see if I can fit this on my screen. Yeah, so this is the top, and just like that. But I'm sure from the photos you have seen, it turned out just right. And so now this is the final look of your skirt from the waist up to the end of this skirt here. In all, let's get how long that skirt measures. My skirt measures 35 inches exactly, and this was an inspiration tutorial from one of my subscribers. I'll have to recreate the bralette that she wants to match with this skirt. Otherwise, I thank you all so much for watching this tutorial. Don't forget to like, leave me comments, and subscribe. Okay, see you again in my next tutorial. I'll be hiding these loose ends. The ones outside are done. I'll hide the one in and call it a wrap. Thank you. See you. Bye.